gently down. There's always a cadence that they want, and you just got to figure that out. I mean, the number one thing is just making sure that that bait really stops. Look at here, that's a nice one right there. It's got to stop every time. I mean, you got to have that slack line. Oh, fat guy. Yeah, come here. I'm trying to not get wet. It's cold this morning. Look at that. The belly on that guy. Prespawn smallies, man. That's why you throw that jerk bait. There's a good one right there. That's a good one there. You know, I always want to fish that bait so it's above the fish's line of sight. It's not very deep. Oh, that's a good one. Go here to the back. So I just switched to that 200 series. Golly, that's a nice one. And man, he got it. And the water's dirty too. I mean, we had a pretty good rain and it really dirtied it up. Just, I mean, you gotta, that's how you want him to get it right there. Face full. For years, I've been changing out the hooks on my jerk baits to these KVD Mustads right there. I mean, they're super strong. You know, you get a big smallmouth like that on, they got a lot of torque. They'll, you know, flex round bends. They're not gonna flex those out, and that's what it takes right there. Got it. Yeah, you gotta like that. Nice. They like that old jerkbait, man. That deep hole, that deep flat. See, buddy? Having the right jerkbait for the depth is just key. That's why we make all the different series, you know, the 300 deep, the 300 sinker, the standard 300, the 200, the 100, just so that you can get that bait close to the zone. You know, this water's pretty stained right here. I've got this Pro Bone color right here for it, you know, just to make it more visible in that situation. But I got to get it closer to the fish. You know, the water's cold. They won't travel like in the summer to come up and bite it a long ways away. So I got to get a lot closer to them. So this bait will run down about 10 feet. So that's what I'm doing right now, just fishing this deeper hole and trying to get that down into the zone where they're actually going to be able to get close to them, get close to the bottom. Always want it above their line of sight, but get it as close to just above them as possible. There's a big one right there. No doubt. Big one. Big one. Look at the size of that guy there. That's what you're looking for right there. Big old giant smallmouth. Just got one hook. Oh, I don't want to get caught. Got him. There we go. There's a chunk. One hook, that's why you throw those KVD trebles. I mean, they come standard on all these Elite Series jerk baits, and that right there is just a difference maker. God, dude. They are definitely wanting that jerkbait. Gosh, fatty. Look at, he just coughed up a big shad right there too. I'm gonna grab that and see what it is. Look at that, fatty. Not exactly sure what it is, but look, pretty darn close to the Pro Bone. God, he had all those mustads in him. Look at, I mean, that is a pretty one. He coughed this up. Look at that right next to the pro bone. And then look at his throat right here too. He's got another one. they are definitely eating. That's what you want right there. See you, buddy. When they're on bait like that, man, there is just nothing better than the jerk bait. I mean, we see it a lot in the South. You'll see, you know, a shad kill in the winter, and that's when they can be, you know, so deadly effective. But even up here in the North, you know, they're going to be focused on whatever that bait is at the time. Smallmouth love crawfish, they love gobies, they like shiners, they like perch. They're just going to go after whatever the most readily available forage is. And in these lakes up here that have, you know, rivers that run through them, you get a lot of suckers, you get a lot of shiners, things like that at it, and jerkbait mimics it perfectly. You got it. Oh, biggin. Jeez, you gotta love that. Just pre-spawn, cold water, big smallmouth. Shiner eater right there. Look at that. Gorgeous. That stained water, man. I'm always going to pick a color that's going to be visible and natural. And I mean, this one is matching the bait fish just to a T. But in this stained water, it just helps them see it too. So, you know, you get those sunny days. That's where those bright colors like the Pro Blue and things like that really come in, you know, that give you some flash. But you get clouds like this and stained water, you want solid colors. Even that siren is one of my best colors if that water's a little dirty, just to get them to see it. There he is, way down. God, just bulldogging. It is just so much fun when they stop it. I just can't stress enough when you're fishing these things that you've got to always work it with slack in the line. That's the key to getting that thing to really dance in the water. I mean, just a solid chunky one right there. Always start and finish your retrieves with, you know, with slack in it. You know, I point the rod back at the bait each time, and it just maximizes that action. You know, when the water's cold like this, you know, you definitely got to slow your overall pace down. But I'm still snapping it pretty hard. I want that bait to really jump. I mean, it's that erratic action that gets him to bite, but just solid chunk right there. You know, my favorite jerkbait setup is this GC2. It's a 610 medium heavy, and it's just the perfect rod for me. It's got a lot of backbone. It's pretty stiff, but it's got a fast tip. So, you know, when I'm popping that bait, I'm working it with that slack. It's really making that bait jump in the water. And it's got a shorter handle, so it's not hitting me in the side or the stomach. And it just makes it a lot easier to maximize the action out of that jerkbait. So, you know, I've got it on a 7.5-to-1 KVD reel. You know, I'm never moving the bait with the reel itself. You know, I'm just using it to pick up the slack line. And I've got 14-pound XPS Flourocarbon on here. I mean, that fluorocarbon is key. You want that lower stretch of that fluorocarbon line, plus the fluorocarbon sinks. So when you're trying to get that maximum depth out of that bait, it's really going to help it. You know, right here, I'm fishing a deeper flat, and you know, I've got this 300 series deep on there, and this bait will easily hit the bottom in 10 foot of water in this situation. So, you know, this setup right here with that 14-pound line, I go a little heavier. I've learned that, you know, you can get away with a little heavier line with the fluorocarbon because of that sink rate and the diameter so close that it really doesn't change your depth. You know, back in the day, the big difference between, you know, 10-pound monofilament and 14-pound monofilament was 18 inches or almost 2 foot of running depth out of your bait, and it was so critical. But our baits are so much better designed. All of our equipment's a lot better now, and that 14-pound has a lot less stretch and really makes that bait jump. And that's what you got to have. You got to have that super erratic dart to it to get them to bite it, to make them react, especially smallmouth. They love that super, super nasty action where it's just really darting side to side. Got him. Big one. Take him to the back to get him. Oh, boy. Oh, look at that. This one's got a few little marks on him. Like a lamprey mark, maybe. Gosh. Look at that. Gorgeous. See you, buddy.